I'm going to open the floor because I bet you Isabel has the questions, right? Isabel always has questions for us. So, Isabel, what are your questions for us?
I do have questions. So, one of the things that my spirit team has really been talking to me is, and I was sharing this with Michelle earlier today, was transportation right now are cars and roads.
Oh, yeah,
And
no, they're going to
back in the
go ahead, keep going.
if I was back in the 1800s, there were dirt roads and horses. And
And
if I
trains,
was and what?
trains.
Trains. Yes.
There were
And
trains.
if I was, let's say, in a more advanced society, there might be railways or different
Monorails.
monorails, right? And if I was in the Harry Potter world, I'm apparating, or I'm using a port key, or I'm using a shoe, right?
Yeah, blue
And so
powder.
they were showing me the different ways to transport depending on the paradigm of the dimension of the world that you're living in.
Hmm.
And so they said the what is coming is maybe the way you cook is different. Maybe the way you walk, transport, get from one place to another might be different. But there's still that essence of moving from one location to another. It
Right.
might be teleporting. It might be all sorts of things, right?
Yes.
Well, you, Isabel, you are a world traveler. You are actually a galactic traveler. And you have been in many, many worlds as you think as past lives or parallel lives. You are opening up your field of awareness and consciousness so that you can be really loose with, oh, this is how people eat here in this dimension.
Right.
Oh, this is how people transport here in this dimension.
Yeah.
Oh, but the love of the family, the love between relationships, that stays the same. And so you can
We want
navigate.
to pause here and say the love in families and the love in relationships is actually going to transform as well.
Yes, let me clarify,
Yes.
heart centered relationships are the
Yeah.
same.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
This has a lot of fear and separation.
It's built on fear and separation.
Mhm. It is built on fear and separation. So we were at a restaurant yesterday, Michelle and I. And I think about this stuff all the time. I'm looking at all the humans in the restaurant. There was only 20. And I think I was telling Kim this last night. There's 20, 25 humans. And I knew a percentage of these humans, maybe one will take to it and the other will not. And they'll be at all different stages of awareness and awakening. And some might put their head in the sand,
Mhm.
some may not, right?
Here's the part that will blow your mind is the one who puts their head in the sand might be better than the one who tries to watch everything.
Yes. Right?
Yeah.
I'll just wait until it's done.
Right. I'm just gonna ride this out. I'm just gonna put my head in the sand, put my ostrich butt in the air, and I'm just gonna ride this out. They may actually be better off than the person who decides they're gonna watch every news clip and they're gonna watch every catastrophe and they're gonna watch every disaster.
Right. Because that's a lot of vibration
Hmm.
to, to take in. Right. One of the interesting things was I released with my team is um, being abundant and prosperous while other people are suffering. And
Well, ask the Rockefellers about that.
it what it is that you have to honor the soul's journey. right? And I know for my team, if I need to jump in to
Hmm.
assist, I will assist.
Hmm. As the
But if,
Rockefellers did, by the way, right? They jumped in to assist. They knew that what was given to them, they were to him who as much is given, much is responsible for, right? And so there's a
right,
reason that Rockefeller is a huge name inside New York City because he carried a lot of what was going on when the Depression was happening inside of New York City,
right.
right?
So you're being called, right?
Mhm.
And you also have to know when it's not time for you to jump in, not
Yeah.
drive someone else's car, right?
Yes, you have to, exactly. You have to have wisdom of when you're going to quote bail somebody out, right? This is why it's really important for you to be able to tap into your own team. This is why people who have much will need to be able to tap into their own team because they could be bailing out lots of things that actually are going to collapse anyway. And so there are some things that are just fated to collapse. And so don't bail those things out, right? But we would say individuals and we would say systems that support individuals, like nonprofits, these things that are there to help will need to support to be able to continue to help. Individuals can go to places that are giving this that are go to places that are giving supports to those who need help, right? So if you're giving to places that are supporting, literally supporting that need help, that have like low budgets and are have a huge outpouring and not a high CEO administrative, you know what I'm
Right.
saying, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, like how Susan B. Komen, they say they're for research, but really the administration gets quite a bit of the chunk of the money. So like knowing the organization that you're supporting will be important. But you're right. There will be people who will be given much on this in this adventure because one, they're capable, two, they're ready, and three, they're leading those who are lost.
Hmm.
They're doing the work and pouring out and giving support in this time of confusion. And the Professor Trelawneys of the world are seen as ditzes and not necessarily people you listen to and blah, blah, blah. They don't have a big reputation. It's going to be a weird paradigm when the Professor Trelawneys of the world become the wisdom of the world. And that will weird a number of people out to the point where they won't receive the wisdom.
Mm.
Because who listens to Professor Trelawney?
So I don't know that human, by the way.
Oh, she was in the divinity teacher in Harry Potter.
Ah,
Yeah,
oh, okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like, ooh, right?
Got the tea leaves. Yeah. Okay. I was like,
Just
is that
like
who he's referring to? Okay.
Harry's gonna die next year, right? By
Yeah.
the time the school year is over, one of you is gonna leave us forever. Ooh, Harry, you're dying.
Yeah.
In reality, it was Hermione left the class and was like, "You're a bat," and got out.
Yeah. um,
And so
so
we want to touch on this how are you going to transport thing because Kim is like asking all these questions about how the transport happens and she's had like a monorail system in her head for a long time, like a really long time, this monorail system in her head. And one day she and a family member sat down and they discovered they have the same system in their head. They came up with a future travel system. They had slightly different variations to it, but they both had basically the same concept. And we want to say it's not going to be like that. She had a whole monorail of family pods and
yeah,
individual pods you program in where you're going long before GPS. Like
yeah,
Kim had this idea, like when she was in the 80s, she was like, you program the address of where you're going and it gets you there, right?
yeah.
Like long before GPSs were ever a thing. She had this idea that you program it, the address and where you're going, and then you can sit and read a book while it just takes you there. And you don't have to do any driving. It's just like it's on rails. So it just like, and then if there's like an accident on one rail, there's extra rails that they don't always use that they open up that like, right? Because everybody, and it's set time. Like everybody's going to get to where they're going at the time because it all travels at the same speed. And then there's like locals where you can get off quickly. And then there's like on a highway, right? But then there's also like really fast ones and people are like zooming. They're zooming in that space. It will come down to the point where you won't need that kind of system. It will be eventually that you will think and you'll be there, which sounds fantastical, but
Right,
you will
right.
think and then you will be there.
Resonance, right? And moving through the conscious field.
Yeah.
So
And the
um,
conscious field, you'll see it.
you'll see it because you're so much lighter. That actually makes sense. And so the time of the
So it'll be like a
rebalance.
step, actually. We see it like a step. You pick your foot up, like apparating where you pick your foot up,
Yeah,
but you have to squeeze through a tube and it's really uncomfortable. It won't be like that. You'll just pick your foot up and then you'll land in the space where you want to be.
nice.
Something
Um,
like that.
that's like Discovery of Witches, where she's a time walker,
Oh yeah, it is a lot like that.
where she just picked up her foot.
Yeah,
She
yeah,
had a
yeah.
jack
To,
to
to,
tune
to
into the
find her
vibration.
way in there. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It is a
Yeah.
lot like this in Discovery of Witches, but you have to like step up into the field and then step off the field.
Mm.
So it's like two steps. But this is our way of explaining it. If we get down the road and we replay this and this is not actually how it works,
That's all right. And that's going to take some time to get to that level,
yeah,
anyways.
it will
Right?
take time to get to that level. Your cars are not automatically going to stop working, right? They will still continue to work. But we want to say in the 1910s and the 1900s, early 1900s, cars were like rare, right? 1800s. When did Ford make the car?
1903. So 1903, 1906, right? The cars
Yeah,
come
but
out and look
it
like a
it,
carriage, look like an
it
open horse carriage without the horses, because that was the relatable vibration of it.
but we also want to say cars still look the same. They still look the same in a lot of ways. It
Yes.
looks like a modern, sleeked up version of that thing. They still
Yep.
have the same formation. Maybe in
Yep.
the 1970s, they got a little crazy and put an engine in a trunk, right? And maybe
Yeah.
the Porsches still do that and put the engine in the trunk. But the truth is, they still look the same. You might have
Yeah.
them really tiny in smart cars, and you might
Sure.
have them like really big in SUVs. The
Yes.
basic formation
Is the same.
still the same.
Yes.
It will be radically different.
Mm.
It won't even be like the same item. It'll be a completely different item.
Oh, nice.
Something totally radically new. Okay. We're going to wrap up. Do you want to finish that thought? You had a thought. Do you want to ask me that thought? Because I
Yeah.
then want to hop into individual concerns.
So so I know it's a multi-pronged impact. It's a series of events, right? It's not just one thing. It's
Not just
it's
one thing.
micro and macro, right? And
Yep, micro and macro.
it's one after another.
Yeah, people will have like a death in the family that will then pitch them over into like something that they didn't see coming, as well as like this other thing on the macro level comes in and smacks them like food stamps are gone, right? Like Aunt Bertha died at the same time that we didn't have food. And then that's when the crisis came to a pimply head, right?
Right, right. And so one of the things Yeshua always talks to me is they've been activating us in the timeline. The bifurcation has already been occurring. And he said, believe it or not, Isabel, we're trying to do this as gentle as we can. He said, okay. I get it. Because they don't want us to completely shut down and collapse, right?
Hmm.
But if they still want, just like a birth of a child, they still want the contractions to move the little child down the canal to come to be birthed, right?
Right.
And so they're always talking to me like, you know, what kind of birthing experience do you want? Are you bringing your family around and flowers and you're singing and you're rejoicing, or a construction of a remodeling of a house? You know, yeah, your kitchen's ripped, you have no walls, no cabinets, and the coffee maker's in the bathroom, but you're working with architects building
Your
crushed
dream,
crystal floors, right?
building your dream. So,
Building your dream. So many stories, but he's also saying to me, he's like, yes, but now you're entering, Isabel, the magic phase. And I said, oh, speaking to my good ear. And he's like, yes, you're entering the things that you have envisioned, the things that you knew you could do, the things that you can remember. You were just felt like this little baby, like, I know this body will one day walk. But right now, you're in this little swaddle papoose thing, and you've got to be fed, and your diapers have to be changed. But you remember that you'll be able to run and walk. He's like, Isabel, that's what you're entering. Your legs are strong enough now. Your remembrance is strong enough. Your remembrance of what you can do, you'll be able to do it. And so you will show others magic
mm,
because you remember, because you've built up your remembrance or your strength. And now you get to do high miracles. You get to do high miracles. And other people can look at the same thing, Isabel. They can look at the same thing. And even if you see it as beautiful and high miracle, they'll see it as a tragedy.
mhm. They will also see it with fear.
Yes.
And that's the reason that they're seeing it as a tragedy, is they're seeing it with fear. Kim
Yeah.
is excited about the idea of being able to fly. She's very excited about being able to fly. She's like
Yes.
really jonesing to fly. She's really jonesing. But if other people see her fly, they will freak out,
Right.
right? That will be terrifying. There's a human over there flying.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Mm-hmm.
not normal.
Yes. So, anyways, um, it is wonderful and exciting. And I know that there will be rapid enlightenment centers. There will be many things at the same time as things are changing and transforming or crumbling. There will be a lot of things that are building, creating, and expanding. And so Yeshua always tells me it's you're going to see a strong polarity, Isabel. And
Mm.
eventually it will even out and it will balance. But until then, you'll see super highs, super lows, super highs, and you just anchor in. You just stay really grounded, and it will come back to a nice balanced wave.
Something we showed Kim just now is when you said what you were saying was slightly different, but she got something, so we want to kind of go into that too, which is slightly different from what you said, and we know it's slightly different. And that is things will be happening on one side of the country, on one side of the world that are happening on the other side of the world. And the one side of the world may not know about it at the same time that somebody else on their side of the world doesn't know about it. The same way that penicillin was found at the same around the same time in two different parts of the world. They were both on the same field when they discovered it, right? They were in that particular field, and penicillin was a mistake on this side and intentional on that side, right? Just because in reference to like where Kim is sitting right now is this and that, right? But it wasn't meant to be discovered in the way that one tries to discover things. It was sort of a happenstance on this side of the world. On that side of the world, it was an intentional discovery. But penicillin was indeed discovered, right? around the same time in two different parts of the world. Those two people who were working on those labs happened to have lifted themselves up onto the field to be able to see it and was like, oh, there it is, right? And so there will be a lot of people who will be on one field who are going to be having an, oh, there that is experience. And there will be people on another part of the world in the field that they're on, and they're having the, oh, there that is experience. And so you're going to see things popping up seemingly randomly all over the place, but it's just because those people who saw them happen to be on that particular field. And so you will find the new creativity popping up, and you will see it like sort of like the Tesla Edison conflict about electricity, right? Sort of like that, where people are like, let's do it this way. No, let's do it this way. And then they won't even realize that people over here are doing it and people over here are doing it. And then you'll see other people doing something else completely different, exploring this other concept. And this person over here is going to do it this way. And this person back over here is going to do it this way. And then you're going to see like these not competing ideas because they're not in competition with each other. These people are just playing and discovering. But then you'll be like, wait, that's like that, and that's like that. And that over there is like that over there. And like, why are all these people coming up with all of these ideas all of a sudden? We've been dry for ideas, and now we're like bursting with ideas. And that's because the creativity and the excitement is rising.
Yeah. Yes.
And people are getting downloads from other places. They're on a particular plane to be able to hear a download, right? And so they're getting a download and they're like, "Ooh, that's really exciting. Let's go use that over here," right?
Yes.
And so
Yes.
they're on the vibrational plane to receive.
Yes.
They're in that field.
Yes.
And then it
So,
will seem random, but it's not random.
right. It's like the industrial revolution without the control mechanisms, right?
Yeah.
The industrial revolution was high creativity. It gave
High
they
creativity within parameters.
exactly. It was still under control and manipulation, but they could. What had occurred was there were so many people at that time able to read,
Mm.
right? So how ISIS explains it to me in Yeshua. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. Right, right, right. So he's like, Isabelle, think of it this way. You know the impact of when humanity was able to read. And I said, yeah, you guys made me study that. So can you imagine the impact with so many souls able to connect with their team?
Mm. What a
And I
happy thought.
went, oh, that's a holy,
That's a
that's a,
really happy thought.
that's a holy
Yeah.
yes, 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 yes.
Yes.
Because now instead of just a few individuals able to connect with their team, now I can have a real good team meeting. Heck yeah, I can have a good team meeting because now I just got the galaxy and beyond.
Yes.
I'm beyond Buzz Lightyear. I got the galaxy and I'm going to have a great team meeting. And then that creativity, right?
Mhm.
Just as long as you stay aligned to your soul and heart centered, who knows?
Who
So
knows?
fantastical. Yes.
Fantastical. It
Yes.
will be fantastical. It'll be fairy tale.
Yes.
You all will be like,
Yes.
where's the conflict? And there will be some people who won't be able to live without conflict. And they'll be like, I'm out because there's no conflict here.
Yeah. Yeah. Rebuilding fantastical, galactic, cosmic, different parts of consciousness with a bunch of people aware, awake, and alive, and vibrant, and
And
fun.
wanting to be a part of the adventure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So I can see it transforming pretty fast for humanity.
It will be a quick transformation. It will be
And
fast.
it will be fast.
It will be fast.
Some people may perceive it not to be fast, but that
Well, when
doesn't
you're
matter.
suffering and you're struggling and you,
Of course.
right,
Of
it
course.
doesn't go very fast
Right. Of
because
course.
you're in your daily suffering.
Right.
But
But
when
it does.
suffering is over,
Yes.
that was quick.
Yeah. Yeah. It is. And I mean, my team constantly tells me 2030 is the bifurcation, Isabel. You know how fast that is. That's 4 years. You know, Madeline went to college and she already graduated. You know how fast 4 years go.
Yep.
I said, yes, I understand.
Yep.
So, anyways, thank you.
This.
It's just confirmation and validation from what I've been receiving.
Mhm.